There we go. Okay. Hey, Jillian, how are you? Hey, makeup by Shorty. Are you a makeup artist? Hello. Happy Thursday. I had to think about that for a minute. Happy Thursday. How are you all? Hello. Jill, you're doing better. That's awesome. I'm doing well. A little tired, but I'm feeling more excited and more energized now that I'm live. Okay. Hello. My day is going well. It's kind of just starting, so it's good. There's a lot going on energetically. So I think like a lot of people are just like, there's a lot of tiredness going on. There's a lot of tiredness. Let me turn this up a little. I think that's good. Alrighty. So let's get started with some readings. And before I do, then I will get into my spiel. Just so that those who watch the replay on my channel, my YouTube channel, can understand what's going on. Yeah, the last couple weeks, I've definitely been like tired and just doing things at my own pace. So that's, yeah, there's a lot of just, everybody's tired. We're all tired. So hello, my beautiful friends, my beautiful brothers and sisters of Earth. My name is Angelica from Infinite Love Healing, and you know, Infinite Love Healing is my own little business. It's my business that I created in 2018. I am a healer, energy worker, a medium, a channel. What am I not? Really, the term that was given to me by my guides, my highest self, was Ascended Master Healer. And really that just, to me, all that means is that I've trained and studied for many lifetimes on different planes and dimensions in order to be here in this life to assist and support in the ascension on Earth, to help and assist and support others in remembering, remembering their power, remembering their sovereignty, and aligning to their own soul's path and their own greatest destiny, their highest potential, basically. So that's me. I feel like there was more. There's usually more, but I get going and I'm like, I don't know what I was saying. So that's me. If you do, we're doing live readings. Yes, of course we're doing live readings. We're doing free readings today. So if you do want a free reading, leave a comment with your name. And if you have a question, leave a question. Or if you would like general love, health, career, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. And how I work is that my own intuition, I kind of just let my own intuition kind of guide me, and things kind of pop up in my head, or I feel like a resonance with a certain person, and I'm just kind of, I let my intuition guide me. So if I don't call on you, don't take it personally. It's really just my own intuition. And if I do call on you and for whatever reason you get kicked off the live or whatever, you can always watch the replay later on my YouTube channel. Okay? And so in explaining all that, there is no line. There's no like line or list, but if you do want to skip the line, so to speak, it is a $20 minimum donation. Okay? And I have had people do that. Just so that you know. Yeah. And the only thing I don't do is pregnancy readings. And that's for my own reasons, but that's just like for now. Maybe I'll open it up later. I don't know, but that's where I'm at now with it. So, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So share the live, like the live. Thank you for the roses. And if you do feel called to work with me one-on-one, you can book those through my website. Okay. Hi, Juju. Thank you for modding for me. That's my mod. That's my unofficial moderator. Okay. So I do, someone asked if I do legal outcomes. I really just tap into the energy of what's coming through. And there can be different timelines and different things like that, but I tend to tap into, I just tap into the energy and kind of relay. So, I also do mediumship. And for me, mediumship doesn't necessarily mean simply just speaking with those who have passed. It's just an emissary. It's a go-between. It's an intermediary that, it doesn't matter what it is. It's consciousness, it's energy. And so I just kind of tap in and relay whatever information is coming through. Okay. So I hope that clears some things up. All right. Okay. All right. So if you do want a free reading, let me know in the comments. Leave a comment with your name and, if you have a question or general love, etc. I found the more specific that you can be, if you do want a specific answer, the more specific you can be, the more specific your question is, the more specific the energy or the answer, the information is that comes through. Okay. Okay. So I am just kind of scrolling through the comments, seeing who the things are kind of feeling into. I'm actually feeling you, Cynthia. Cynthia, you're saying love. Cynthia NYC, Sin NYC. I like that. I'm actually feeling you, and you said love, right? So when I call on you, if you can be so kind as to, oh, you sent a donation. Okay, I will get to you. If you can be so kind as to say, just here, raise your hand so that I know you're there on the live. Where did you send it through? Who said they sent it? Corinne? You said you sent a donation. Where did you send it through? It's not. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, for general. All right. Corinne, since you paid, do you mind if I, because I already was I was going to go ahead with Cynthia. Do you mind, Corinne, if I do Cynthia first? I see that. Thank you. Okay, she said that, yes, that's okay. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. But I'm writing you down, and you said general. And if in the meantime you find you're like, ooh, I want to ask a specific question, totally welcome to do that too. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Just making sure. And then let me look at, where are you, Cynthia? There you are, Cynthia. Okay. Cynthia, and you said love. So before I get into love, before I get into the reading, just to kind of be clear as to kind of what I might tap into. Sometimes when I tap into, people want to know about love, and it's a more general, it might not be a specific question. A lot of times what might come through not always, but what might come through is maybe certain blocks or certain relationship dynamics or patterns that you might be playing out that is actually like blocking or resisting it in a way that you might want to consciously create and manifest and call in or attract love. So just be aware of that. So I might tap into some deep shit. Just know that. So that if you do ask for love, that might be something to expect. Okay. And then the other kind of preface here is to, I'm not here to take your power. I'm not here to take your power. If anything, I want to help you. I want to support you in aligning to your own empowerment and empowering yourself. Okay, so just know that whatever comes through is just me simply kind of just relaying the information coming through. Your job, your mission is to take what resonates, make it yours, make it work for you. Make it work for your own life. Leave the rest, right? Don't take what's not yours. If it doesn't resonate, don't fucking take it. But if it is yours, if it does resonate, take it, feel into it, and say, oh, how does this work for me? This resonates. What is this, and like your job is to kind of feel into how it does relate to you. Your job is not to force anything that does not fit. Okay. If I say something, you're like, nah, bitch, then don't take it. Okay. All right. So Cynthia, okay, I got you. You're right there. And you said love, 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 love. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Already connecting to your energy. I'm getting a lot of like burps. When I tend to like, what I've found when I tend to like connect to people and I start getting like burps right away, typically, maybe not always, we'll see what unfolds as the reading goes. Typically what that's an indication of is like there's maybe some healing or some awareness to do around it, maybe some shadow work to do around certain things. But I'm right here. I'm like, it feels like, so this part right here, I want to say this is where our thymus is. So it's halfway between the heart and the throat, right? This is something that a lot of people in the spiritual community can refer to as the high heart. It's a part of us that speaks from love, and it's combining basically the heart, an open heart, and open communication. And so this feels a little constricted, I would say. Being able to, so I would say that this might manifest as really wanting and being open to love. But maybe like one of the words that comes in is vulnerability. That feels a little scary when I tune into that. So I don't know if vulnerability kind of scares you. Like, I'm not sure if I want to say the things. I don't want to be, it's almost like how we play these games of like, I don't want to be the first to say I love you. So it kind of, I can kind of feel like that, like feeling, maybe a little scared or a little afraid to be vulnerable. So it feels like that might be one of the blocks in the heart. And then from here, from the throat, it feels like maybe not always saying the things that I feel like that actually goes into and flows into vulnerability of being able to be open as well as to be able to say the things, right? To be able to be like open-hearted and then open enough in the throat to be able to say, hey, I'm feeling this way. And so it does feel like vulnerability is coming in for you pretty strongly. And that feels like, let's see, that feels like working through some maybe vulnerability or some patterns or even beliefs around what you believe vulnerability to be. Do you think of it as a weakness? Are you scared of it for whatever reason? Does it bring up fear within you? Why? I'm like diving deep into that because it kind of feels like vulnerability might be a soft spot for you, and that's totally okay. We all have our like challenges and our strengths and our weaknesses. And this just is a part of you to like, work on or strengthen a little bit more if that's something that like resonates and feels like, yeah, I want to go into that. But it feels like this. And here's the thing. Everything has a balance. So sometimes we can be a little too vulnerable, a little too fast, a little too open, too fast, and not really discerning of what's maybe appropriate in the moment or what someone else can maybe handle. And there's a balance that's different for everybody. And then the other side of that is not being vulnerable at all. So in between the two extremes, there's a whole spectrum. So kind of like where are you at on the spectrum? It feels a little bit like, it feels a little closed off to me when I feel into your energy. So it feels like the vulnerability or being a little bit, having fear around the vulnerability feels like it maybe causes friction or some misunderstandings in relationships for you. As far as, I'm going to feel into if there's any potential timelines for, people coming in as well. I do feel one potential with, okay, I'm getting, this might sound a little tricky, within the year. So I am not actually sure if that means within this year, like by December, or within the next year of like till next May. So that I feel like there is that potential, but it also might depend on how your own alignment. Typically typically I found that tends to be the case of like different things will come in or not depending on our alignment, as well as timing, and the timing is another thing. So there might be some timing with that as well, but it does feel like one potential. And then in the meantime, there's this invitation to work on vulnerability and like diving into any fears you might have around vulnerability. Okay, that's kind of what I feel. So let's pull a card and see if oh, is there? I'm just like looking. Okay. I close my eyes because it's easier for me to concentrate that way. Whoa, that's a lot. Here you are, Cynthia. Here's your card. Focus. Seeing a clear choice, decisive, concrete action. And then that could be also a little bit of me, but that is what I feel for you. Oh, that could have been me. And then we get, tenderness, comforting connection, shared moments, innocence, soulmate. That feels like the potential that's coming in. So if it were me, I would definitely dive into the vulnerability things, as well as here we got this other card of hasty, jealous, volatile, arrogant, hyper, violent, daredevil. And that just kind of speaks to me, this kind of speaks to what's shutting down the vulnerability. And that might speak to past relationships, or even other, because did it say volatile? Yeah, it said volatile. Um, that might speak to other, core relationships that were core wounds that created those dynamics in your relationships that you play out. I don't know, but the volatile definitely like lights up in my head. But it does feel like um, why do you feel afraid to be vulnerable? Or, what is vulnerability to you and why? And where's the fear coming in around vulnerability? Okay. That's what I kind of feel for you. Okay. Pew, 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 pew. Thank you guys for, kind of informing each other. Oh, you're you're claircognizant. So am I. I just kind of know things. Um, do, 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 do. I love the fact that you close your eyes. Thank you. Um, let me know how that resonates, Cynthia. And and feel free to share as much or as little as you want. I'm not here to, you know, um, we're all vulnerability issue because of past relationships. Yeah. Okay. So that was a confirmation for you. So the invitation there is to kind of dive into vulnerability and how you kind of maybe think about it and how you relate to it or how you don't open up or all of the things around that. And then it feels like there's some healing that maybe wants to come in if you're open to doing that. You're open to like going into that. So thank you for kind of confirming that. Okay. Corinne, Corinne, it is your turn, my dear. Are you still here? Okay. Hi, Em. How are you? Okay, so she's here. You're welcome, Cynthia. You're welcome. You're welcome. What's claircognizant? So claircognizant literally translates to clear knowing, and real. It describes like one of the clairs, right? So clairvoyant is something that we typically might think of. Clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircognizant. So claircognizant is just clear knowing, whereas clairvoyant is clear seeing. Clairaudient is clear hearing. And then you have a lot of other, like clairtangency, that's clear tasting. Or is that clear? No, that's not clear tasting, that's clear touching. So like sometimes, it's just different ways that we have to describe how we might bring in information and then translate it to others. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for asking. All right. So Corinne is here. I got you. And you said general. All right. So general Corinne. Okay. Corinne, I got you. Let me take another drink of water while I tune in. You're right there. Okay, so as I tune into your energy, Corinne, I do this. And as I do this and I talk about it, the energy starts to unfold and I get more information. So this kind of makes me feel into almost like where we were with our previous reading with Cynthia. It's right above that, right into like this little nape, like right into the throat. So it feels like, we're going more into the throat and speaking our truth. This center has a lot to do with speaking our truth, expressing our truth. And it's not just expression, but it's also being able to receive. So it's on both ends. So listening and, listening, receiving, as well as expressing and giving, and doing that in a way that's vulnerable and open and honest and truthful and in alignment, authentic to, our own like alignment and our own soul. Okay, so that I kind of get like this. So we might be talking about this. So let me kind of listen in a little bit more. Okay. Yes. Okay, your guides want to come in and say yes, yes, yes. There there is okay, so you guys want to come in more and say like yes, it's about more like speaking up. So do you have like an issue, or what's the word? Do you have like an issue with speaking up, or is there something that like kind of, do you feel like you hold yourself back from speaking up? Do you feel like you walk on eggshells when like speaking about your like speaking up, and like, because it feels like I feel a little to me that kind of indicates um, I like to keep things to myself because I'm not sure how people might react to that. I feel like I used to. Okay, so have you gone into more of being more confident speaking your truth then? uh, the reason why I ask is I'm trying to feel into where I need to go. Yeah, yes, she said yes, I think so. Okay. Okay. So I actually hear the word acknowledgement. So it's like an acknowledgement of like you've come so far. You've come a long way of maybe where you've been and where you are now. And then the other word that I hear is actually continuation. So we're going to continue um, continue into diving deeper into that. Because your guides are like, yes, it's an acknowledgement of like you've come this far, and that's something to celebrate. Oh, excuse me. And then as we move forward, we're going to continue to, oh, excuse me, uncover layers, other layers of where you might not even currently or consciously know that were even there, of like, oh wow, I was holding this back and I didn't even understand it. So like it feels like more subtle layers of uncovering and opening the expression center of speaking up, speaking out. I actually feel and like see uh um I actually like get this sense of you being like an advocate for others. And I actually get the sense of you speaking for others who don't have a voice. Okay. And so that would actually make sense to me, that there's a continuation of like opening this center and being able to speak on behalf of others who might not have a voice. I don't see or get a sense of what those others might be. It could be animals, it could be children, it could be something that feels enjoyable, because it feels like it's more in alignment with your soul to like do something in a way that you're speaking up. Is that something that like you feel? Is that something that feels passionate to you? Oh, but I think a part of me still struggles with it. Yeah. Okay. I think that's what I'm tuning into. Because it feels like you're here to speak up for others who don't have a voice or might not know. No, it comes in as others who don't have a voice. Mm-hmm. Okay, you said yes. Okay. So that's the continuation. I don't know if I'm not sure where you are at in your life right now, or if you're already getting into this work, but it feels like something that's opening up. And it's always your choice, but it feels like this is something that would actually be very, very in alignment with you. And moving towards that would be highly beneficial for for you as well as others, because it would feel highly rewarding, highly fulfilling. I'm getting like goosebumps right now. It would feel highly rewarding and highly fulfilling to you, and it would really help and support others who don't have that voice or can't speak for themselves. Or because I feel like you have like this very soft, gentle, and compassionate side where you are able to intuit. So, like using your intuition, that's coming in. Um, like there's so much information coming in. I'm not even sure how to like truly translate it, but it feels like it would utilize more of your beingness because you're using your intuition, you're opening your heart, you're doing something that feels rewarding, you're doing something to help others, and like it opens you up in a really beautiful way. I actually feel this coming in over the next 2 years. And if it's not already there, it's like it feels like it's opening up. Like it's, especially with this last solar eclipse that we had, it feels like it really started to kind of open up. I don't know if it's something that you're already doing right now, but it feels like over the next 2 years, it's something that really is like, go over here, go over here. But that's what I feel. That's what I feel coming in for you. Is there anything else? Um, I would like to use my voice to help others. And I'm kind of just listening. Okay. So this reading was or is to like open you up to possibilities. That yes, you can be supported financially. Yes, you can do something that's rewarding and fulfilling. And yes, you can do something that you love and that is joyful and then you're passionate about. So it feels like a lot of these things are starting to align with you or for you. And it's just about like moving towards that. Okay. So it feels like the guidance here right now is just like moving towards that, and then maybe even contemplating, reflecting on like what does that look like for you? If you don't already have an idea of what that looks like for you, almost like imagining, envisioning, like what does that look like for me? What does it feel like? You don't have to get hung up on all the details, but like just as kind of just practicing. It's a little bit of a couple of different things. It's a little bit to practice getting you into that energy and aligning you more to that. What was the other part of it? What was the other part of that? It's also to help you get clarity, so that when things do start manifesting, things do like offers or opportunities start coming in, you can recognize it. Okay. So this reading is to help kind of like also open you up to that potential and the possibilities that are still yet to manifest, and that yes, it is possible. It's possible. It's possible and probable. The timing of it kind of depends on collective things, collective shifts, as well as your own alignment. Okay. How How quickly do you want to align to this? And does it bring up any fears or any resistances still here? So it's like, it's also kind of giving you the leeway to clear out and become really clear in here, in your throat center, in your expression center, because there's some self-esteem things that might come up for you, of like feeling confident enough, feeling like really like, you know, how I have the self-esteem, I have the, you know, really confidence, self-esteem, and empowerment, feel empowered enough to, you know, in my own voice, that I can also speak for others. So it does feel like there's some things to still be kind of ironed out and clarified. And that is where I feel like the timing is coming in. Okay. But yes, there is something quote unquote better out there for you, and something that is going to feel super rewarding and super fulfilling. Okay. This is actually really cool. That's interesting. Okay. Your guide said, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all she needs to know. Okay. And I'm just listening. Yeah, that's it. All right. I hear like dead air. So, um, I feel like it's opening up my life. I love to sing as well. See, anything that kind of opens this up and that feels good, I would highly encourage you to do whatever feels, you know, super good and super rewarding and super like, yes. um, I just want to see if you're still here. I would love to be fulfilled. Yeah, I know. I get that. We a lot, so many of us do. Okay. All right. Cool. So that is, it sounds like, it sounds like, yeah, I was just scrolling through the comments because there was a lot of them. So it sounds like it resonated, Corinne. So many blessings to you on your journey. I'm really excited for you. And if you ever think of me when these things start opening up and you feel guided to share, definitely, you know, share with me. I might forget by then, but I'm always open to hearing. I love when people come back to me. I've had people come back to me. They got a reading. They come back to me 6 months later and they're like, holy shit, what you said was like right on point. And I'm not saying that's not like the necessarily everybody's experience, but I love when that happens. It's so cool. She said, thank you. Yes, this helps me a lot. I'm so glad. Okay. Yay. All right. So let's get on with the show. My name is Angelica. If for anybody that might be, you know, have come in during the reading, my name is Angelica from Infinite Love Healing. I'm a healer, energy worker, medium, channel, you name it, I can do it. Not in an arrogant way, but in a very confident, like, I've been doing this a while. I've been reading people all of my life, but more in a professional sense since about 2020, that I'm like, yeah, I can do this. Because it took a lot of like healing and, you know, clarity to kind of get me to this point. But yeah, so share out the live, like the live, and if you don't follow me, give me a follow. And if you do want a reading, leave a comment with your name. And, you know, if you have a question, leave the question. Or if you would like general love, health, career, the only thing I don't do is pregnancy readings. I might open that back up in the future. We'll see. But for now, that's what I don't do. And if you do want a more in-depth reading, to skip the line, you can do a $20 donation. That's the minimum. Or you book with me through my website. You can book, and that's actually called Ascension. Let me see. They're actually called Ascension Sessions, my private readings. I actually might rename them just private readings so people are like, oh yeah, it's private reading. But currently they're called Ascension Sessions, and there's 3 options there. Ooh, thank you for the panda. I like it. Okay, so the way I work is that I let my intuition kind of guide me. Oh, somebody's saying Cash App will not open. We're in Mercury retrograde, so maybe try another modality, or maybe it's just not working for whatever reason. Maybe try it again. But we are in Mercury retrograde, and somebody was having that same problem yesterday. They were like, I want to pay for a reading, but this thing's not opening. I'm like, um, yeah, Mercury retrograde's hitting me hard these days. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Okay. So I'm just kind of scanning the comments to see kind of what pops out at me. So if I don't get to you, please don't take it personally. It's just me kind of reading the energy and where, because we're also, I feel like it's important to say we're also serving like a higher purpose of the collective. You know, because I put these videos on my YouTube channel for people to watch afterwards. So somebody that's watching the replay might actually resonate. And somebody that's watching the live might resonate with something that I'm actually saying to someone else. So if it resonates, whether I'm reading for you or not, if it resonates, take it, make it yours, apply it to your life in ways that make sense to you. And if it doesn't resonate, don't take it. Okay. I'm actually feeling you, Mari. I don't know if you go by Mari or Mary. And you're saying love. You're saying love. It's a love. A love is in the air. Yes, you. Yes, you. You're saying love. So I'm finding you. I got you. Yay. I got you. You're here. So let's like kind of connect to your highest self, your guides, and see what comes through. Okay. So when I tap into, or when I connect to people's energy, sometimes I get physical. I do like physical things. I get physical manifestations. And for you, Mari or Mary, I'm like, So are you in? It kind of feels to me like you're contemplating. Do I want to? Do I not? Like it feels like I'm in a like in between space of not sure if I want to, not sure if I don't want to. I want it, but I don't want the baggage. It feels like I'm in a midway, like almost like on the fence of like I want it, I don't. I don't want the drama. I want this, but I don't want that. Do I really want this? Does that make sense for you? Does that make sense? Um, it definitely feels like there is some things to work out uh, internally. I don't know if you're in a relationship now or not, but it does feel like working some things internally out, whether it's shadow work, you know, like working on the maybe past emotional wounds that have come up as a result of relationships and of your own like imprinting, like your initial imprinting from when you were a wee little one, um, working some things out. Um, either way, either way, it kind of feels that that's where you are at this point in your life of like, I'm working some things out. I'm not sure. And it feels like I'm like doing some thinking, contemplating. It feels like I'm like in the middle. Did you say anything yet? Okay. But it feels like, I would say short answer, it feels like you're on the fence when it comes to love. Romantic love. Okay. So to me, what it kind of comes through is like this other part of working the stuff out, figuring out what that is, doing some, you know, being open to some shadow work, to some emotional healing, and processing old emotions, because it feels like that's contributing to, I want this, but I don't want this. I want this, I don't want this. So when we reconcile, when we heal the things within ourselves, we actually can open ourselves up to new potentials because we've taken the time to excavate the old wounds, the old traumas, the old patterns, etc. Or even taken time to address, maybe, inner child stuff that needed to be healed, or other aspects within us that are like in resistance. Because a lot of times when I feel this type of energy, it indicates an inner fight or an inner struggle. Like one aspect, you consciously want this, but another internal aspect's like, it's not safe. I don't want to go there. That's not safe. It always ends up in hurt. It always ends up in heartbreak. It always ends up in this way, disappointment. And so no. So there's an internal struggle or an internal fight going on in between. Like there might be a part of you that's like, So if you really tune into yourself, Mari, and consciously like, oh, what do you think of love when you think of love or getting into a romantic relationship? Does it feel good? And then tune into the other parts of you. Is there a part of you that be like, this is a good way to understand or to know if there is a part of you, if you have like an inner thing going on. You're like, on one side, I feel this, but on another side, on the other hand, I feel this. That's a good indication of when we're actually fighting with ourselves. And that means that there has to be some kind of reconciliation within the self, some kind of healing, some kind of awareness to be like, target, excavate, like again, those wounds or those, those old stories that need to be addressed. Okay, because maybe they weren't processed properly, or whatever happened, whatever the case was, feels like this is the case. And it's keeping you like, I don't know if I would necessarily say stuck, but that's kind of maybe stagnant. It kind of feels like in this kind of in between, almost limbo place of like, not, but yes, but not, but yes. That's what I get with you. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But that's what I get with you, my dear. She sent the big eye emoji, like that. I take that as I kind of hit on something that might feel a little resonant for you. But that's what I get for you, Mari. Or Mary. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. But just thank you so much. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here and allowing me to do what I love and be of service. I'm glad that it resonates. So take it how it resonates. See how it resonates, and you got this. You got this. You can do it. Okay, let's get into some more. There's some really specific questions here. I like that. Somebody's asking, excuse me, Natalie, I'm feeling drawn to you, my dear. I'm already just looking at your comment, or yeah, looking at your comment, I'm like, ooh. You said, is Andrew my soulmate? So, is your name Amber? Did you say Amber? No, Amber. Natalie. My bad. I seen Amber. I was like, oh. So Natalie, to be clear, that's who I'm reading. I got you. You said, is Andrew my soulmate? Okay. This is what I get when I tune into this connection. Okay. I keep hearing the same thing. I get he's one of them, but just because someone's your soulmate does not mean that it necessarily works out in a romantic way. I have a soulmate, not to project onto you, but just as an example, I have a couple soulmates, but that we were like a soulmate we were together off and on for years and years and years. And we finally was like, because I was like on doing my healing and like he was doing his thing. And I consider him one of my soulmates, but we're not together like that anymore. But we're like really fucking like best of friends. So it does feel like, yes, there is like one of that. And you know it here because you can feel it. Okay. That's you tuning into. So tune into that. At the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that because somebody's your soulmate, it needs to work out in a certain way. It might mean that they are in your life or they come in and out of your life to some degree or whatever, and you become the best of friends, or your relationship throughout the years changes and shifts. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're meant to be with them in a romantic way. Does that make sense? And then pulling a card to kind of like tap into the connection. Tell me about this connection. My face itches. Vision, opportunity. I get 2 of Wands, making a plan, vision, opportunity, decisions, future planning. So from what I get, is this up? Is this? Oh no, it is. It's upright. Okay. What is that? Yeah. Okay. From what I get, so just so you know, I don't read tarot in like the way that most people read it. I just read the energies that are coming off or coming through. So kind of what I get from this is kind of what I said. It feels like it's a lifelong friendship, and that relationship or the dynamics in that relationship can change and shift and change faces. So like sometimes you could be like really close friends. Sometimes you might not be very, very close of friends. Sometimes you might come back. So like in and out, and then, it could even turn romantic. However, because here's that, you see that little boat on top of that book. To me, what I get from that is there is like a lifelong type of partnership there. It doesn't necessarily mean, I'm almost getting like drop the idea that it needs to look a certain way, because it feels like that taps into some expectations about relationships for you. So this person this person might actually be coming in as a soulmate to help you clear and release any like distortions around relationships and expectations. Okay, so that's kind of what I get for you. I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but that's kind of what I just hear coming through. And if it doesn't resonate, don't take it. Don't listen to me. She says that totally makes sense. We're married already. Does this seem does this seem good for marriage? Well, if you're married already, then I feel like you already got it. I feel like so number one, tap into your own knowing internally. But it does feel like it's a lifelong thing. That's a lifelong thing. And he's there to help you. Like it's not even just him helping you. It's this whole synergistic thing to help both of you and support both of you in your your growth, your awareness, and wherever that takes you is where it takes you. It just feels like releasing in any expectations around what that needs to look like for like forever. You know what I mean? Like I know when people get married, there's this promise of forever. And that, if we're religious or we have a certain belief about marriage, we might be resistant to be like, nope, I'm not getting a divorce. And I'm not saying that that's happening. What I'm saying here, the context of it is really just saying like having a greater or a higher knowing or understanding that relationships change. And sometimes we have to be flexible to meet that situation. in whatever way feels most resonant to our soul. So it does feel like just releasing any expectations of what that needs to look like going forward, because it might marriages. Marriages. I've practically, I haven't been like married, but like I've had racial relationships long enough where I could have been married. And it was just like, oh, there's expectations. I have expectations around this, so what it needs to look like, where it needs to go. But it feels like to me, expectations keep coming up of like, release it. Like, even you asking the question even feels a little bit like an expectation. Does this feel good for marriage? So it kind of feels like, again, going back to whatever expectations you might have for, certain relationships, whether it's marriage, whether it's friendship, whether it's, family, etc. It just feels like this person is here to challenge your ideas of what expectations you might have around relationships. Okay. That's what it feels. I'm done. All right. Oh, that was a lot of comments. She says, thank you so much. I feel that for sure. It's so true. Yeah, so just let yourself flow, Sometimes things fall apart, and that's actually the best thing that that can happen. I'm not saying that that's, that's going to happen, but just, you know, things flow and ebb, and sometimes we have expectations where we think, I need stability, I need this. And it challenges our idea of like what we've been holding on to. So I'm glad it resonates. All right, let's do a couple more. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the heart. I like it. All right. Um, do, do, do. Okay, Amber, let's go to you. You said, hold on, I might have to go back. You said, where's Amber? Anything on Antonio and I, like the connection between you guys. Okay, so Amber, I feel you, my dear. We're going to go to you. There you are. Okay, so I'm going to fill into the connection between you guys. Okay. The first thing I do get is that it feels like a pretty strong, stable connection. However, depending on, it feels kind of almost dependent on whether someone or both of you are like in a good, like, in like an emotionally stable place. It feels like things can get a little rocky if one or both of you are like not quite emotionally centered or at peace. But in other words, or besides that, it does feel like there's a good, strong connection. But that might waver depending on if you're feeling emotionally volatile or unstable, or feeling like, emotionally like just out of alignment, you could say, or if he's feeling emotionally out of alignment. So it feels like the stability is dependent upon the emotional stability of either one of you. Okay. And to me, let's see. So, okay. And so we're going to bring it back around of like, no judgment, no anything there around that. It's just a like, it's almost like coming around. I'm trying to figure out how to like translate this. it's almost like there are some things that would be probably beneficial to work on for like individually, you and him. So it feels like there's some definite like emotional like old, whether it's old wounding, things that you might be triggered on or by it, working on them individually as well as being able to communicate that with each other feels like it could create more stability and create more of like that, create a greater degree of stability in the foundation of your relationship. Okay. um but like the emotional volatility makes the foundation unstable. Does that make sense? So as long as there is like, I don't know if you guys do like your inner work, your shadow work, you face your shit, you do your thing individually. I don't know if that's what you're doing. But like without that, it feels like because I get like this teeter-totter type of effect. It goes back and forth and like we're not sure if we're on solid ground. So it feels like how do I say this? It feels like there's some emotional wounding on both halves, in both parties. So as individuals, that would be beneficial again to work through, because then that feels like it, when you come into a greater degree of emotional alignment and balance within yourself, and you can regulate your own emotions, you can regulate your own nervous system, that creates a much more stable, peaceful like relationship, especially when someone's feeling, has emotions coming through, because all emotions are really just energy in motion, emotion. So a lot of us, most of us aren't taught how to still regulate our nervous system. A lot of us aren't taught how to like sit with an emotion, especially if we find it unpleasant or uncomfortable. And so there might be some of that going on that needs to be like processed individually, as well as being able to communicate what's going on, because it feels like that kind of rocks the boat or rocks the foundation of the relationship. Does that make sense? Let me see if you've let me know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm getting for you. That feels like the connection. Again, I feel like that's my answer all the time, is like, but it's so important. Do your shadow work. Do your shadow work. Because it feels like that will actually help that emotional stability. I used to be super, super, super crazy emotional person, and when I started doing my shadow work and working on my shit, owning my projections, I've become much more balanced emotionally. So it kind of feels like that, like work on your shit. But both of you have to be willing to do that. Okay. Both part, or it feels like the foundation kind of eventually cracks and it becomes less stable. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mackenzie. She said, I love the pink hair. I grew it myself. I'm kidding. Thank you for the heart. I'm not seeing, did you, I'm not sure if she said that makes sense. I overthink and get my feelings all at times. Yeah. But like so many of us do. So definitely don't judge yourself. So don't shame yourself or be hard on yourself. It's more about bringing awareness to when you're feeling like that and taking care of you first when you get into that, rather than projecting that into the relationship or onto your partner, because that shakes the foundation. And then, people can get in, and then we trigger each other in such beautiful and crazy, horrific ways sometimes. And it's too much to like go into here on a live, but I'm glad that it makes sense. How do you do shadow work? There's a lot of different ways. Really, one of the easiest ways to do shadow work is kind of recognize what's coming up for you in the moment when we're like emotionally triggered, or like, it's kind of like to identify the emotion, feel into that emotion, and if you can give that emotion a color, a shape, if it has a taste, give it a taste. Give it all of the different, really feel into it, and make it very tactile. Like you could feel it. Like if you feel it, is it hard? Is it squishy? Is it soft? Is it black? Is it, what is it? So feeling into it and kind of starting there, identifying the emotion, and then identifying all of the different, what does it smell, taste, all the things. And then from there, once you've got a really good feeling on all of the different things, then you go back into, when was the first time I felt this intense emotion, or this same intense emotion. And then typically, if you kind of sit there and you let the things bubble up, a memory will come up, into your, and you kind of work from there. So it's basically about kind of going into the past and past woundedness, past hurts, past heartache, etc. Or even at times where you might have created beliefs, or somebody projected their beliefs onto you. So in order to process the things, there's a lot of different ways. I would say check out YouTube. I don't know if I have, I don't even know if I did, if I've done videos on that. Otherwise I'd be like, I've done videos on this. But it's really about following the emotion, getting very clear on what emotion you're feeling, and then following the emotion to the first time you felt that way. Sometimes that shit goes all the way to the womb. And then you kind of give yourself what you need. You know what I mean? So it can be a process, but yeah, it's a whole process of befriending and making friends with your shadow. Okay. I need some lip moisturizer. Okay. I hope that made sense. All right. Let's do maybe one more, and then I'll hop off. If I don't get to you, she said, yes, it does. Okay, good. If I don't get to you, tomorrow's Friday, and I will be on tomorrow again for a free reading. So I invite you to come back. Thank you for, oh, excuse me. Thank you for the roses. Actually, I think I found my person. Hold on. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Do any of my gifters have a question or want a reading? Because I'm actually feeling to maybe go to my gifters, because I can't forget about you guys. Is it Kylie? Were you the one that was sending me all those roses? Oh, it's Kyla. I'm like, wait, what? I feel like, okay, Kyla. All right. So it's you, my dear. It's you. You said, what's going to happen with Kristen and I? Okay, Kyla. All right. Okay, so I'm looking at your picture. Okay. You said, okay. So I'm just going to fill into the connection. And remember, I'm not here to take your power. No matter what I say, please be empowered in your own choices for your own life. If it resonates, take it, make it yours. Make it, have it, and feel into how that fits into your life. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it. Okay. So feeling into, all right, I got you, Kyla. Okay, okay. All right, Kristen. Okay, Kristen. All right. Hmm. Okay, does this connection, okay, so the first word or the first phrasing I hear is emotionally volatile, or that it can go there. Not that it always is, um, but that feels like a sticking point. So can that, can this connection with you and this person get emotionally volatile at times? Oh, wait. um, let's see. At times, yes. Okay. It feels like that's the sticking point to me. It's not to say that this is like the end. Okay. So that's not what I'm saying at all. I am saying, though, that it feels like that needs to be worked out in order for growth, for harmony. That can sound a little like woo woo, but I don't give a fuck. But I genuinely mean that, for like a greater harmony, for greater synergy, for you to be able to like give and receive in a much more balanced way. Okay. So the emotional volatility has to be addressed here. Again, that is going to take both parties' parts, responsibility, taking responsibility, both of you guys taking responsibility for, working out your own issues separate, so that you can come together and also discuss those and be open. So it does feel like that emotional volatility is a sticking point, and it's actually meant to invite you to go deeper into yourselves. That's all relationships are, you guys. That's all relationships are, whether it's mother, daughter, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, family, business. Relationships are there to reflect to us, especially when we feel triggered and emotionally like, what? We feel like emotionally triggered. Especially those times, relationships are there as a mirror, as a reflection to support us in diving deeper into ourselves. So if you can allow this connection between you and Kristen, Kyla, to, be like, to support you in like looking deeper at how you can create harmony within yourself and take responsibility for that. And if she can do the same, or if this person can do the same, I don't want to assume pronouns here, but like if they can do the same, then it feels like there's a greater amount of growth. There's a greater amount of give and receive. There's a greater amount of harmony that can blossom from that. There's a greater amount of like love and feeling seen and being seen, and feeling heard and being heard. That feels like it's kind of a sticking point, because it feels like it might be a little bit of an ego battle, ego battle that we get into, that it's like, it feels like neither one is feeling seen. And so the ego kind of gets bigger and bigger and like, no, see me, 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 me. And then it's like, no, no, me, me, me. So it feels like there gets to be like an ego battle. And so if we can allow that to bring us back in, again, shadow work, you gotta face your shit. You gotta take responsibility for your own shit, or not, but be empowered in your choice either way. I would suggest, shadow work. And then, because that's the sticking point, it feels like That's the sticking point. And that would be a big foundational piece in the relationship. Okay. Other than that, it feels like a good connection. It just feels like taking responsibility for the emotional parts of it, because that emotional volatility, we can say things that are very hurtful, that are very nasty, that are very ugly, and then we got to take them back, and then it creates like micro terrors in trust, to kind of like put it in in an abstract way. It kind of like starts chipping at trust. Can I trust this person? Do I feel safe with this person? So it feels like that can be a big, big sticking point for you guys. So emotional, um, taking responsibility and doing your shadow work. Okay. Again, that has to be responsibility and a choice for both of you guys, not just one of you. And you can't choose that for that person. They can't choose it for you. You have to both be willing to do the thing. Okay. That's what I feel for you, my dear. I won't even pull a card because that's what I feel. Let me know how that resonates. She said, thank you. I needed to hear this. You're so welcome, my dear. Okay, my loves, that is it for me today. If I didn't get to you, no pressure, no worries. I'll be back tomorrow for more free readings. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you feel guided to work with me one-on-one, you can do that through the links in my bio and book with me there. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you guys for hanging out. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Infinite love and blessings. Bye.